with my co-host Wyatt Bergmoser.
Today we're going to be talking about the beginnings of the church.
So kicking off today's story, we begin at Pentecost in 33 AD. A bizarre occurrence took the people by storm.
We're going to send it off right now to Hannah Hodgson in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is where the occurrence took place. She's on the scene right now with Peter. Hannah.
Thank you, Wyatt. Today I am here with Peter in Jerusalem. Can you recount what happened the night of Pentecost?
We were hiding in the upper room in Jerusalem and the fear of the people, and something crazy happened.
So what are we going to do?
People think we're liars. No one believes us.
We're gonna have to stay in here a long time.
We could starve. We don't have any water.
Yeah.
We need to get some.
Peter, you go do it.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
You do
yeah,
it.
you
No,
do
no,
it.
no,
You
no,
do
no,
it.
no.
You do it.
I'm
Hang
not
on.
gonna do it.
What just happened?
Eureka.
Hello? Konnichiwa.
¿Cómo
Ni
estás?
hao?
Bonjour.
What?
As we were sitting in the room, we began to argue about what we were going to do about the situation. And then all of a sudden, the presence of the Holy Spirit came in. Fire came above our heads. We began to speak in many tongues, and we began to understand each other.
Now, how were you able to understand each other with all these different languages?
I can't explain it. Only the power of God can.
Now, what did you do with this newfound power?
We went out and preached to all the people, and they began to understand.
Thank you, Peter. Now, back to you, Wyatt.
Thank you, Hannah. Oh, can you move us into our next topic?
Sure, Wyatt. Our next topic is about a Christian persecutor formerly named Saul. Hannah is going live in Damascus right now.
Hannah, can you please give us some insight on the scene?
Thank you, Wyatt. Now, we are here at Damascus with Paul, where he once persecuted Christians. Paul, can you give us an insight before what happened before your conversion?
Well, as you know, I was a Christian persecutor before. I was high up in the ranks, and I would travel around persecuting Christians, and I was on my way to Damascus when all of that changed. I'm blind.
Can you please explain what happened?
Well, I was on my horse on the way to Damascus, and there was a bright light from the resurrected Lord, and I went blind, and it took 3 days for him to send a prophet and restore my vision.
And what did you do after your conversion?
After my conversion, I traveled around the area, establishing churches and preaching. I also wrote epistles during this time, and I worked with the apostles in union with that.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
Well, me being a Roman citizen and with the Roman roads all in place, it was very easy to travel around in these times. And I was born in Tarsus from a wealthy family, so I was well educated, so I could read and write as well.
But how? Many people couldn't read and write.
Well, again, because I was from a somewhat wealthy family anyway, and I was a Roman citizen, so becoming educated was a good goal.
Thank you, Paul. Now back to you, Wyatt.
Once again, thank you, Hannah. As we're moving down the timeline, can you give us our next story, please?
So our next story takes place in 49 AD. This is an issue involving the Council of Jerusalem. Our studio team has created a live reenactment of this council.
Call for the council. Should Gentiles follow Jewish rule?
No, why would they?
Yes.
Yes, they definitely should.
No.
They should only have to follow a few of them.
No. That just, no.
Let's try and decide on which ones they should follow, because they shouldn't have to follow all of them.
Circumcision!
No, definitely not that.
That's not a reasonable
That's
opinion.
disgusting.
No.
All right, we're calling for a vote. All in favor of Gentiles following Jewish rules say aye.
Aye.
No?
I.
This is ridiculous.
Let's set some rules for what rules they have to follow.
Okay, guys, we have to set up some rules.
I think that's a good idea.
All right.
I agree. Only if they must abstain from blood. No killing or touching dead things.
I think they also need to abstain from illicit sex.
And no contaminated items. Okay? Understand?
I think those are some good rules.
Yes.
Pretty fair.
I agree.
The Council of Jerusalem is closed.
Hurrah!
Thank you, studio, for that wonderful reenactment of the Council of Jerusalem.
My name is Hannah Hodson, and I'm here live with Channel 8 News at the scene of a terrible fire in Rome. People say it was Nero himself who caused this fire. He does hate the Christians so much and would like to terrorize them. I will be interviewing a live victim who was part of this fire. My condolences to everyone involved. Back to you at the studio. Thank you.
A Roman emperor who was constantly terrorizing Christians.
Okay, so now Hannah's going to take over with a live interview with a Christian woman under Nero's reign. Hannah, back to you.
Thank you. I'm here today with a Christian woman who is living in Rome under Emperor Nero. Please tell me, how is it like to live under him?
We're not allowed to worship freely, and rumor has it that he burned down Rome and blamed it on us Christians.
And why do you think he's persecuted and blaming the Christians?
I think it's because we're unwilling to worship him as a god. He's just our emperor. I don't think he's our god. We only have one god.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. Back to you, Liv.
Thank you, Hannah. That interview gave us a lot of detail as to what happened. Sorry for that quick interruption. We just learned that Peter has died.
Under the reign of Emperor Nero, he has crucified Peter. Peter did not want to go in the same way as his leader did, Jesus, so he was crucified upside down. Such a disaster. Moving on from Peter, we will briefly talk about the Synoptic Gospels. Matthew, Mark, and Luke were written between the 70s and 80s AD. During the 90s, the Gospel of John was also written. The writing down of these books was to prevent the distortion of the stories. They are most importantly known today as the first 4 books in the New Testament.
Another group of men who contributed to the church were the apologists. We have one with us in the studio today. We will interview him right after the commercial break.
Are you tired of walking around barefoot all day and getting those cuts and bruises and blisters all over your feet? Well, cross out those old ways and get the new Jerusalem Cruisers! Look how perfectly these fit his feet.
You can even walk in them. You can run in them. You can even dance in them. All ages and different styles.
Walking down the street, all the ladies looking. As they pass, they say, "Hey, what's cooking?" All the ladies stare, but they don't really care because they have this awesome footwear. Jerusalem Cruisers. What? Jerusalem Cruisers.
Bring them back.
Jerusalem Cruisers. What? Jerusalem Cruisers.
Bring them back.
And we are back from the commercial break. I am here with St. Ignatius of Antioch. Now tell me, how do you contribute to the church?
Well, first of all, I converted to Christianity, and then Peter appointed me Bishop of Antioch. On my way from Antioch to Rome, I wrote many letters to the people about their faith and about my faith, and I've been told by many to stop doing what I'm doing because I could be killed, but I'm telling all of you right now, do not stop me from being martyred.
Thank you, sir. Now, back to you, Olivia.
Thank you, Hannah. Tune in to Channel 8 next week to hear more about the Council of Nicaea.
Thank you.